Hello and welcome to this tutorial, or it's rather a demonstration of a homemade NDB approach for runway 08 in Mosstock that I made in DCS. Everything is homemade, and I do not follow, strictly follow the official procedures that you should do, maintain in a situation like this. So the scenario could be that we are on top here. We've been doing, combat maneuvering or an intercept or some training or some sort. And I happen to know that we're south of Mosstock airfield, about 3 to 4 minutes out maybe. Speed is quite low now. I'm on a southeasterly heading, which is, have a look at the F10 map. I just pause here. That puts us maybe somewhere in this area. In this area, I know that the lowest safe altitude or minimum safe altitude is 5,100 feet due to these mountains here. So we'll stay above that. And as long as we're above the clouds like we are today and the sun is shining, I can, fly about visually using external reference such as the horizon. So what we'll do, we will see where we are in reference to the NDB. The NDB itself, it's placed around this area somewhere. It's the inner NDB in Mosstock. You can find on a frequency of 1064 megahertz with a code of long short. So let's just listen to that first. I tuned it myself and volume is up. Long, short. Turn that off again, I can't bother to listen to it. Which you should in real life, because you have to know that the beacon is working all the time. So, we're flying on a heading of 160. So what I'll do is I will align the compass rose on the ADF with heading 160. Let's see here, that's 140, 150, about 160. There's a little dot or mark here which you can use to align it. I'll zoom in and see if we can see it. It's kind of difficult. They should really make it easier to see, because maybe it was like that in real life, but for me, that instrument is only about 1.5 centimeters wide or something. So that gives us a bearing actually towards the beacon of 345. Let's have a look in the chart in the map what that looks like. I paused the game, back into the map. So a heading of 345 towards the beacon, that gives us what, 165 from the beacon, 165. So we're somewhere along this line here. So what I will do is, let's say we're here, I make a right hand turn and turn back towards the beacon. That should give us a higher bearing towards it, going past 345, maybe towards 360 or something. We'll see what happens. So I'll turn back right. I try to decrease the speed to about 250, and I will descend towards 8,000 feet, which is the cloud base today. And since I'm visual now, I will, make a rather sharp turn. But once I'm in clouds, I will not fly like this. And I will also show you the skin that one of our members, Jedi, made for the F-86. It's based on the Swedish old swept-wing aircraft, the J-29, called Tunnan, or Barrel in English. Looks quite nice, I have to say. So let's keep turning. We said I expect that we should have a bearing about 360 towards the field. So I'll turn to that. We can see the needle is moving, very similar to that. So that's a good sign. I'll turn this one to 360. Oh, and I'll descend as well. As I said, the MSA, minimum safe altitude, is 5,100 feet in this area. So what I can do is I can descend to that altitude even before overflying the NDB, because I know that I'm quite close to it, so there shouldn't be any terrain in this area. There we go. I happen to know that the wind is coming from the east today, so I'll turn a little bit more right to compensate for that, and hopefully it's not too much. And what I also do is that I will just check that my ADI is aligned properly, and it looks quite alright. Sometimes, it will be toppled or it will show that you're turning when you're actually not. So just make sure before you go. IMC instrument conditions, that your instruments are properly aligned, even for this game, at least in this case. So I will lock the view here, and hopefully I can have it like that until I expect to see the ground, or even hopefully the runway. We'll see. So we keep descending towards 5,100 feet, and I made sure that my anti-ice and my pitot heat is on. You have to have both on, or otherwise your airspeed system will freeze up. I'm not sure why the airspeed system will freeze up actually. Maybe this one includes that as well. I don't know. Pitot heat could be enough. I don't know, but not in this game. Anyway, so 7,500 feet. Got a few more thousand to go, and the needle has been moving a little bit to the left on the ADF equipment here. So we just have to have a look out for that, because once I pause it, it would swing to either direction, and depending on how fast it's swinging, you can see how close to it you are. You want to have a quick, sort of a snap like that, and then you passed right over the beacon, and that's very good. But that doesn't always happen, because sometimes you've been drifting due to wind, or you just haven't been very careful. But since terrain isn't really a factor here, if I pause it to the left or right, it should be alright anyway. So 1,000 feet to go, and once I passed the NDB, oh, I drifted left, look at that. I will descend to 3,000 feet, because I had a look at the terrain here, and 3,000 should be fine, considering there are no hills around this area. And once established inbound, I'll just pause here. So we fly to the NDB, and the inbound track is 083. It gives me an outbound track of 263. So I pass the NDB from this direction, or maybe this direction, and then I make a left-hand turn, fly outbound for 2 minutes, descend to 3,000 feet. After 2 minutes I turn inbound again, descend to about 1,000 feet, then I should be able to see the ground, and hopefully I will be in this area by then, and should see the runway. At least I should see the ground, and it should be safe to proceed and maybe fly level for a little bit, even though you don't do that anymore these days. But in 1954, I don't know, you could actually stop and maintain that altitude until you saw the airfield, or until a predefined time was up. So going back into cockpit and pause, and we'll see what happens. So I did not do a very good tracking of the NDB there, because now my heading is 345, and I should have maintained it 010 or whatever it was, and still tracked the NDB. So I increased the thrust, and I arrested my descent rate, and hopefully my ADI is properly aligned there. This one is showing a right-hand turn. Oops, shouldn't have done that. So let's see, the needle, I've been turning right, so the needle has been swinging over to the left, of course, obviously. Increase the thrust a little bit. We try to fly heading 010. We monitor the ADF needle, and I think it was starting to turn there. No, it wasn't, it was just me rolling the aircraft. And there we go, it swings over. It's not a perfect, but it's close enough, so we'll turn left now. Try to maintain 30 degrees of bank, increase the thrust a little bit, and we continue to descend now to 3,000 feet. And once I have the beacon off to my left by 90 degrees, that will be straight south of me, I will start the timing and we'll aim for 2 minutes. And it's behind us, so I'll start timing now actually, and I'll reduce it by 20 seconds. And this is just shooting from the hip. This is not you know, the perfect way to do this. We probably wouldn't pass an IFR exam, but it's DCS World, it's a game. Try to decrease my speed and maintain the rate of descent as well. It's a lot of trying here on my account. I try to make it happen as well. So we're aiming for 1 minute and 40 seconds, which is about 60 seconds to go. And what I'll do is that I will align this one with our final approach course, which will be 083, 070080, about there. Now let's unlock my track IR and have a look at that. That looks about right. 4,000 feet. I shouldn't descend too much, and I should not drift towards the runway either, so I turn a little bit right here. There we go. Try to maintain around 200 knots. That's 1 minute 20 seconds. 20 seconds to go. You can see me trimming there through the takeoff position. And that's 5 seconds to go. Continue descent, turn left. Now we're aiming for a heading of 080. And when we roll out on that heading, hopefully we will have the ADF needle pointing straight ahead. Keep descending through the turn. I try not to descend below 3,000 feet before I am quite sure that I'm established on final approach. Oh, there's 3,000. It's kind of difficult to notice when your pitch changing on this ADI. So I just go up, back again. It's not 100 feet is not too much, but it's, you know, we aim for perfection here. 100 degrees. We'll call that established timing. There we go. 080, and the NDB is almost straight ahead. Extend the gear and try to attain a rate of about 1,000 feet per minute. So the beacon is, well, it's slightly to our right, so I'll correct by coming to the right and correcting past the error. So if the error is 5 degrees, try to correct it by 10 to make sure you not only stop the incorrect tendency, but you also, you know, reverse it. 45 seconds passed. Try to keep about 1,000 feet per minute. Coming back left now to heading 080 again. Increase the thrust. And make sure I make that turn as well. There we go, and we descend. Speed is a bit lower now, which is, you know, it's good, because but they will mess up the timing. So after 2 minutes, at this speed, we will be, you know, we will have a bit to go towards the beacon. So what I can do is try to compensate that by decreasing my rate of descent, but it's all guesswork now, you know, so it's not the easiest thing to do. Because I don't have any, you know, proper charts with times for different speeds and stuff like that. But this is just to show you how this can be done. So when we're approaching about 1,000 feet, we should start seeing the ground. So I keep the descent rate up now. And as I said, you know, these 2 minutes that we're almost hitting now puts us short of the NDB, because we flew outbound at 200 knots and inbound at about 180 for average maybe. Beacon is still straight ahead, and I'm starting to see something up on my right corner now. There we go. Unlock the track IR, and I see something there. Let's see. Oh look, it's a beacon and it's the runway. We'll decrease the speed brake, keep the nose down, flaps, keep the nose down. It took us about 2 minutes 20 seconds to get to this point here. And as you can see, the beacon is very close to the runway, so it's not what I'm used to really, but you see it works. I increase the thrust now, try to maintain 3 degrees to the runway, which is not too easy because we don't have any visual guidance or poppies. Try to find 140 knots. And there it is. Get the nose up. Increase the thrust, make sure the speed doesn't drop too much. And I'll aim for the black markings there. Start to pitch up, reduce the thrust. Got a little bit of wind from our right, I think, so I'll push the nose to the left. That was a a marked touchdown, or a rough. Wasn't too bad though. I'll keep the nose up for aero braking because I think it's fun. I trim for that as well. And there we go, about 80 knots. The nose wants to drop now, and I let it do that carefully. There we go. I think that was good enough for demonstration at least. It would be more fun if you had, proper charts for this, which you can look up on your iPad or whatever. But I just made this up, so it's not perfect, but it works. Thank you for watching, and see you later.